Good morning, everybody. It's Sharon with simplycanning.com, and I am coming to you today from my porch, and I thought I'd talk to you today about corn. Now, we are actually a few weeks out from our corn being ripe in this area. I happen to live in an area where the locally grown sweet corn is so good. It's called Olathe sweet corn, and if you're in my area, I know you probably know what I'm talking about. In fact, sorry, I have a bug flying. I don't even grow corn in my garden anymore just because it's so abundant here and it's just so good. I can't grow it as well in my garden as what I can buy it. And so it's just so much easier to just go buy a box and go ahead and can it from there. So that's an option for you to do that, is just buy your corn if you don't have a great big garden where you can grow lots of corn. Because corn is one thing that takes up a lot of space in your garden. So we're going to talk corn today. There's 5 different ways I have for you to grow corn. And let me pop a link in here for you. And it's so funny because I sat down to prep for this show this morning, and I realized that my page, I titled it 6 Ways to Preserve Your Corn, and there's only 5 on there. But there's some other articles in there about how to strip the corn off the cob, super duper easy way. And so I'm going to talk about that as well. And so there's a link in the site over there, Preserving Corn at Home, Canning, Dehydrating, Pickling, Relish, Corn Cob Jelly. And we're going to talk about all of those very, very briefly. The bulk of this is going to be on this little tool right here that my husband built for me. We'll get to that. So the first thing I want to talk about is canning corn. I have a jar of corn here, and this is done in a pressure canner. You cannot can corn in a water bath. Please don't try. You might find directions out there on the internet. My suggestion is please don't try. Use a pressure canner. You'll be safe. It's a great way to preserve your corn. Now, I will say a lot of people don't like canned corn just because it doesn't have that fresh taste that you get. Like if you freeze corn, it does change the taste a little bit. I don't know if the color is going to show up, but it does get a little bit of a golden color. The color is a little bit different in the jar, especially if you have a very sweet variety like what we get. And so those are 2 things that sometimes people don't like, and so dehydrating and freezing are other good options. I happen to like canned corn. My family happens to like frozen corn, and so I kind of do both, and they get to eat my canned corn every once in a while just because I like it. So canned corn, please don't try to water bath it. Please do use a pressure canner. If you will go to the link that I've provided in the comments, Preserving Corn at Home, there's a link to canning corn on that page there and a brief description. So the second thing that I want to talk to you about is dehydrating corn. And I actually don't have any dehydrated corn with me. It's super easy to dehydrate. You blanch it first. I blanch it when it's on the cob, cut it off the cob, put it in a dehydrator, and dehydrate it. I only did it once. It was actually very, very easy, but I found that it's not as convenient as frozen or canned. It's really fast to open up a jar, heat it up, and use it. When you have dehydrated corn, you really have to plan ahead and have that time for rehydration and everything. And I don't know about you, but a lot of times I'm just kind of last minute. What am I going to make for supper? And so I just found that I didn't use the dehydrated corn as much. And so I only did it once. We've used it all up. We did use it, but I'm not planning on doing any more just for that reason. But it might work really good for you. Dehydrated veggies are really good in soups because you can simmer them all day, and the corn is gonna rehydrate in your soup just as it's cooking all day. You put it in a crock pot or whatever. We don't like corn in soup. It's just kind of a texture image thing, and so I never put corn in my soup. But if you use corn in soup, then dehydrating would probably work really well for you. I dehydrate things like carrots and celery and stuff like that to use in my soups. So, but corn, not so much. Now, another way to do corn is freeze-dried. And I have some freeze-dried corn here. This is kind of the end of a jar. Now, this I did at home. I was sent a Harvest Right freeze dryer to test out and to review. I also have a link to that on that page, wherever it ends up. I think it's below. And it has my full review on there. And so I did do some freeze-dried corn, and this is one of the things that I do like to do in that freeze dryer. But I have to say that after having that freeze dryer for about a year, I don't use it nearly as much as I thought I would. So, and I think it's a convenience thing. It's a little bit fiddly. You have to change the oil in it and things like that. The machine does what it says it does. It really produces nice food, but I don't know, lately I've been really looking at convenience, and my time is value. And so I haven't used it nearly as much as I thought I would. There's the electricity that you use. I keep it out in my shop because it is loud. And so I don't know why, but walking from my house to the shop with stuff, I feel like, it's a pain in the neck. I don't do it. But like I said, the machine does what it says it does. You might want to check out my review. I've got some links in there. There's a Facebook page. In fact, there's a couple of freeze-dried Facebook pages. You should go to those pages, see what other people are saying about them. Some people absolutely love it, and other people's are having issues with it. So just check it out, see what you think. Maybe because I've been canning for so long and it's not hard for me, then I would just as soon can it and have it ready to go as use the machine. So there you go. You can make that decision yourself. Some people absolutely love it. And I think those are folks who aren't doing a whole lot of canning. So we talked about canning. We talked about drying and freeze drying. And another option, if you like the freeze-dried corn, because you know what? Freeze-dried corn is actually just good just as a snack. My son likes to just eat this, and it's so healthy for him because it's sweet. So it's really good. It's kind of like an alternative to popcorn or something. So I just started working with Thrive Foods, Thrive Life, and again, there's a link to that on that page. And they have freeze-dried corn. And so that's another option. If you really like freeze-dried corn, the convenience, you just order it and it comes in the mail and you don't have to go out to the machine and all that stuff. And so that's just another option. Check out the freeze-dried foods at Thrive Life. We like the corn. So, and then the final preserving method I wanted to talk to you about is relish. This is a corn relish, and I have a link to the recipe on that page. It's just it's corn. I think there's peppers in there. Of course, it's a vinegar product, and it's safe to do in a water bath. So if you don't have a pressure canner, you might want to look at doing a relish. But remember, you have to use this recipe. You can't just put any corn relish in your water bath canner and assume that it's going to be safe. It's been tested. It's got the correct amount of acid in there to make it safe for the water bath. So check out the corn relish recipe on there. And now for the fun stuff. I want to talk to you about stripping the corn off the cob. That's probably the most tedious thing with corn. It's not hard, but it's tedious. And so my husband, can be a pretty smart fella sometimes, invented this little bucket. This is just a little bakery bucket. It's not 5 gallon. I am guessing it's probably 3 gallon. I don't think it says on here. I got it at the bakery. You know, it's one of those things that they get frosting in or something like that. And what he did is he had some of these. We have 2 of these. This is called a corn stripper. And I have a link to these on Amazon. It's not this exact one, but it's very simple. It's a blade here, and then it's got these handles. And you put this on your corn cob, and you're going to push that down, and it's going to strip the corn kernels off. Well, he decided he wanted to put it in a bucket. He cut a couple of holes here, put some notches here. This thing fits right in there, like so. Whoops, don't put it in upside down. You have to have the blades pointing up. Now I can't do it. Like so, like that. Then you put your corn cob on here and you push it down and all the corn ends up in the bucket. And it's really pretty slick. If you'll go to that page again, I have a video of him actually using this and showing how it works. So I've had so many people ask me where to buy these. The strippers you can get at Amazon. A lot of times I've seen them at like farm type stores. You might check your Ace Hardware where they have the canning supplies, things like that. The bucket, ask at your local bakery and you can get a bucket for free. Although, you know what? Our bakery started selling these buckets. It was kind of a drag. So, if anybody has any questions, that's all of the stuff that I wanted to talk about today. I'm just going to scroll through and see if there were any questions on here that I can answer. A couple of people said they had to go. That's okay. Just come back and look at the replay. It'll be posted. Lots of hellos from all over the country. I had some people sharing the video. Thank you very much. I appreciate when you do that. Howdy from Texas, Florida, Michigan. Amy says she got hers at Walmart. I'm assuming she's talking about that corn stripper. Bonnie asks if I'm not showing it. I'm not sure what it is that I didn't show. So if it was the bucket, maybe you just asked before I got it up here. Somebody asks about creamed corn. Yes, you can use it to make creamed corn. What you want to do is you want to run your corn cob through it, and then we kind of run it through again to make sure we get all of the juices off of the corn itself, and that's what makes it the creamed corn. And so it does work well for creamed corn. We like to get all of that juice off there because that's kind of nice sweet stuff. So, okay, I'm not seeing any more questions. I appreciate you guys being here with me, and you guys all have a great day. We'll see you next Thursday. God is good. We'll talk to you later.